I'm Mike with Cleveland Cutting Board and Furniture Company. Another great week with the exception of my little thumb here. I got an argument with the oscillating belt sander back behind me there, and it won. The good thing is the thumb's fine, it's still there. I just got a nice little rounded off corner right now thanks to the 80 grit sandpaper that was on there. It'll be fine. It happens. Let the tool do the work, and that's what happens when you rush and you don't let the tool do the work. I was pushing a piece of wood into it, trying to get a nice flat surface, and my hand slipped, and boom, that was it. So learn your lesson, hopefully. So anyway, it'll be fine. This week, the big thing was I got the countertop done for the karate studio. My buddy Ryan opened up his own karate studio, got that installed. It turned out great. I really like working with that maple. It's got a lot of character. It has some curl in it or some tiger in it. It's got some ambrosia in it. Had some couple knots I went through and did some bow ties in it to help stabilize it. Probably didn't need it, but did that. It had one section as I started milling it down, open up a bark inclusion. So instead of cutting the whole thing out, I just fill it with a nice resin and then put some bow ties through that. So it turned out really nice. Even his mom had messaged me and told me how nice it looked. So that was like a great compliment. So got that done. What else this week? Indonesia. I'm shipping a board off tomorrow to Indonesia. So I'm pretty excited about that. That's my first cutting board in that part of the world. So that's heading out this week. Speaking of cutting boards, we have a bunch in stock actually. So right now we have, so these are actually for my big customer. I have these here that are ready to go, minus I got to edge them and stuff. I got more glued up down there, and then these are extra. This is extra, and right there stacked up in the, right down there. Those are also extra. So I've been trying to take advantage of all this wood I have up here. As you can see, maybe not. There you go, right there. That's all offcuts from cutting boards, so that's what I take. That right there is offcuts. That's offcuts. Down behind me are offcuts. Over there is offcuts. And believe it or not, spent about 4 hours yesterday cleaning the shop, made a little bit of a dent. Camera's going a little wonky on me, be patient. So what we got here? There we go. So yeah, so got that all taken care of. Someone complained that my camera action makes them dizzy. I'm working on it, what can I say? But anyway, so yeah, I got like 20 boards ready for my big customer order when they order, hopefully in the next month or so, but I've got another 10 to 12 boards ready, almost ready to go. I get them to a certain point and kind of set them aside. That way if someone wants to change something, it's more flexible that way. So I have boards ready to go. So if you need a cutting board for a birthday or a housewarming or a wedding gift, I'm getting wedding orders right now. Wedding orders are coming in steadily because it's at that time of year. So I have boards ready to go. I have charcuterie boards ready to go. Here's one I'm working on right now. This is Bradford pear. Those are the trees that flower in the spring. They're big, pretty white flowers with a blue resin. This one needs to be sanded, oiled, and there's a knot right here, so I'll put some dovetails in there, take care of that. That'll be done hopefully this week, or it might go on the shelf till I get more time, but that'll be done. What else? So yeah, get your board orders in now, so I can meet that pretty quick. Bowl turning. I've been turning a lot of bowls. Here's another. This is a buckeye from a buckeye tree. Buckeye turns really nice on the lathe. I just got to find my attachment to my lathe so I can finish them up. So I got a bunch of bowls here that look really cool. Here's a buckeye with a little bit of ambrosia going through it. So, and this is going to be awesome when it's done. I just got to find the foot for it. So it's here somewhere. I'm still cleaning. I'm sure my best bet I found out for me is stop looking for stuff and you'll find it. So it's in here somewhere. So I don't know. I have a big walnut salad bowl someone ordered, so I have to get jumping on that. So I got to find it soon or buy more. So. Anyway, what else? The Buckeye slab, the scarlet red and Buckeye live edge slab, that was sold. So my buddy Jonathan's going to take that and make a table out of it for his shop. So I got to get that final sanded, edged in a little more details, and then get it buffed out and get the hard wax finish on it for him. I think he's going to pick it up next end of this week, I think. So I'm real excited about seeing what he does with that. John's a good fabricator. Jonathan's a really good fabricator. He's going to make his own base for it. So I'm pretty excited to see about that. So that's taken care of. Speaking of slab and tabletops, I ordered a new form that came in, a 5-foot by 3-foot form. That thing, well, it wasn't cheap. It was pretty expensive, but it's reusable. Usually when I do a table, I have to make a form, and then the form is, they say you can use it twice, but reality is you can't. I found that this form is only good for about one use, and it's expensive to remake a form. So now that I have a good supply of different size forms, even though there's a lot of cost up front, it's going to save me money in the downside, on the backside, downside, whatever, you know what I'm trying to say. It's going to save me money there, which in turn will save you guys money. So now with that new form, we can do larger tabletops. So the form itself is 3x5, so you figure you got to take about a 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch off around it, so you can get just shy of 5x3 table, which is a good size for a small table or a desk or something like that. So I have a walnut slab I think I'm going to throw in there and do as a spec piece to try and sell maybe next couple of weeks. So I have to order more resin first, but yeah, I'm going to try that. It's one of those things to make money, you got to spend money. And the good thing about this is I spend the money, I save time, you save money. So it works out pretty good. What else? Secret sign of the month. I gave the secret sign of the month this month to the Matt Muellers. Elaine and her husband are an awesome couple. I've never heard anyone say anything bad about them. I've met their kids. I've known their family for years and years and years. I got to know Elaine over the last few years. We started off as a customer and became a great friend. She's actually helped me with some work stuff. She's proofread some of my advertising. I'm very fortunate. I have some great teacher friends. Teachers are very special to me. Growing up, I was probably not the best student, kind of an asshole, but I've always had a lot of respect for teachers. And looking back now, a lot of who I am today is because of some of the great teachers I've had. So I like taking care of them. So yeah, so I made a sign for her and her husband. Actually, I made two. The first one, which is hanging over there on the wall of shame, there's 2 L's in Matt Mueller. So I had to remake that one. So anyway, so that got taken care of and got delivered yesterday. So I'm really excited about that. I know she'd messaged me and said she loved it, so that makes me feel good. And special thanks to her daughter, Katie, for getting her anniversary year for me. They were married in 1981. Elaine was a teacher from 1984 to 2013. Now, I didn't have her as a teacher personally. She was in the same school district, but different buildings that I was in throughout my school growing up in Vermillion, Ohio. But I know a lot of people who had her, and they all said they loved her as a teacher. So from 1984 to 2013, 29 years as a teacher. So very patient woman. I couldn't deal with kids that long. I can't deal with kids for 29 minutes, let alone 29 years. So yeah, secret sign of the month went to her and her husband. I've already decided who I'm doing the next sign for next month, for May. And when I mentioned it to Elaine, she told me some interesting stories about this person. So I'll start working on the design this coming week and get that out to him May 1st, or first week in May. What else? I have a new apprentice, Kristen. Kristen's a new shop apprentice. I'll tell you what, I've got 2 high school girls, and they're working rings around the boys I've had in the last few months or past couple years. Kristen is a sophomore in high school, volleyball player, great student, great athlete, real eager to work. She's been doing a great job. Yesterday I had her in here. She's just swept. She swept and wiped things down and organized the best she could. And then I had her go through and she resurfaced the workbench. I had her hit it with some sandpaper. I hit it with 80 grit, and then she came back through with a 120, and then she went through and waxed it all. And then I had her work on the table saw. What I do with the table saw and anything on my tools that are cast iron beds, I hit it with 320 sandpaper on the random orbital sander. Hit it with 320 sandpaper, and then I take furniture wax and I cover everything in furniture wax. That helps protect the surface from rusting, and also helps the wood slide nice and easy when you're pushing it through the table saw. Because once again, you don't want to force stuff. You want to let the tool do the work. So if I'd had that same mistake I did on the belt sander with the table saw, I'd have no thumbs. So yeah, take care of your tools. So that got done this week. Also this week, I started selling resin skulls. So when I do a resin pour for a tabletop, a desk, or a charcuterie board or a cutting board, it's hard to guess, with all the curves. I get pretty close, but I usually have some left over, and the stuff's really expensive. It's around $100 a gallon. So I went and bought some resin molds. Excuse me. Got to burp at least once in a weekend video. So yeah, I bought the molds for these. I have more molds coming, different sizes. These have been selling like crazy. People like these. I think they're super cool. I sold 2 yesterday to my one friend. One with bullet casings in there, or the shells, not the bullets, but the shells. Yeah, the brass. Looked really cool. This one's going out to my buddy Brewer. One buddy, he bought a gold one. He's actually going to tap and thread it, make it a gear shifter for his car, which is a really cool idea. I've seen that before. But yeah, so whenever I have leftover resin from a pour, I'm going to use the molds. If you want a custom color, I can do that for you specifically for them. It takes about 4 to 5 days for the resin to cure. I like to give it at least a week just to be safe. So yeah, so I have those available as well. So hit me up if you want a special color. I have different sizes. I have a really small one than that size. I think that's a 4 inch, and the small one's like an inch. And I got a bigger mold coming. The bigger the mold, the more expensive they get. But I hate wasting that resin because it's really expensive. So that's it for the Cleveland Cutting Board Weekend Shop update. Everyone have a great week. Remember, stay positive, stay motivated, and remember, also work smarter and harder.